Marijuana use and breath hold duration, debunking the oxygen deprivation myth. The idea that holding your breath longer when smoking marijuana gets you higher is a topic steeped in both anecdotal wisdom and scientific misunderstanding. A quick Google search on "Does holding your hits get you higher?" yields a chorus of articles claiming that holding your breath longer doesn't increase the high, asserting that the majority of THC is absorbed in the first few seconds and that any lightheaded feeling is merely oxygen deprivation. This narrative, however, oversimplifies the science, misinterprets source material, and ignores both the chemistry of cannabinoids and real-world experience. As a 43-year-old daily cannabis user with 30 years of experience, I've seen firsthand that breath hold duration can impact the efficiency and duration of a high. Let's unpack the science, the myths, and the evidence. The misinterpreted study and oxygen deprivation claim. The commonly cited claim that THC is absorbed in the first few seconds often stems from a misunderstanding of studies on lung absorption, particularly those referenced in cannabis-related articles. These studies, such as the cited source on many websites, focus solely on oxygen absorption during normal inspiratory breathing, not cannabinoid absorption during marijuana use. The abstract of such studies often notes that oxygen is absorbed rapidly by the lungs within a few seconds and that exhalation primarily releases carbon dioxide. This is true for oxygen. Oxygen has a molecular weight of approximately 32 g-mol. Mole is highly soluble and diffuses quickly across the alveolar membrane into the bloodstream. Cannabinoids, however, are a different story. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, the primary psychoactive compound in cannabis, has a molecular weight of 314.45 g-mol, nearly 10 times that of oxygen. Heavier molecules diffuse more slowly across biological membranes, including the alveolar capillary barrier in the lungs. The assumption that THC absorption mirrors oxygen absorption is flawed, as the two compounds have vastly different chemical properties and pharmacokinetics. The cited studies do not examine marijuana use or breath hold duration specifically, as their abstracts often explicitly state. Extrapolating oxygen absorption data to cannabinoids is a misapplication of the science. The oxygen deprivation argument also falls apart under scrutiny. Holding your breath after exhaling all air from your lungs may cause mild lightheadedness within 30 to 60 seconds due to reduced oxygen levels or carbon dioxide buildup. However, this sensation dissipates almost immediately upon resuming normal breathing, typically within 5 to 10 seconds. In contrast, the psychoactive effects of cannabis persist for hours, not seconds, and are not accompanied by the same fleeting, reversible sensation of lightheadedness. Conflating the two is a misunderstanding of both physiology and cannabis's effects, the science of cannabinoid absorption. Cannabinoids, like THC, are lipophilic, fat-soluble molecules that require time to diffuse across the lungs' alveolar membrane into the bloodstream. Unlike oxygen, which is optimized for rapid absorption due to its small size and the body's constant demand, THC's heavier molecular structure and lower solubility in water mean that its absorption rate is slower. Studies on cannabis inhalation, such as those by researchers like Donald Tashkin, suggest that the efficiency of THC absorption depends on several factors, including inhalation technique, breath hold duration, and the volume of smoke inhaled. Breath hold duration matters because it allows more time for THC molecules to transfer from the smoke in the lungs to the bloodstream. Research on cigarette smoking, a comparable inhalation process, shows that longer breath holds increase the absorption of nicotine, another heavy molecule, 162.23 g-mol. While direct studies on marijuana and breath hold duration are scarce, partly due to the historical legal restrictions on cannabis research, preliminary evidence and basic pharmacokinetics support the idea that holding cannabis smoke for 5 to 10 seconds or longer can enhance THC absorption compared to immediate exhalation. Anecdotal evidence and practical experience. As a daily cannabis user for 3 decades, I've observed that holding hits for 5 to 10 seconds allows me to achieve a stronger, longer-lasting high with less material. Half a bowl smoked with intentional breath holds can produce effects comparable to a full bowl smoked with quick exhalations. This efficiency is not just a matter of feeling lightheaded, but a noticeable difference in the intensity and duration of euphoria, relaxation, and other psychoactive effects. This aligns with the experiences of many seasoned cannabis users who report similar outcomes. You can test this yourself. Smoke a small amount of cannabis, e.g., 0.1 grams, and exhale immediately after inhaling. Compare this to smoking the same amount but holding each hit for 7 to 10 seconds. Most users will notice a more pronounced and sustained high with the latter method. This isn't oxygen deprivation, it's the result of giving THC more time to cross into the bloodstream. Why the myth persists. The oxygen deprivation narrative likely persists because it's a convenient oversimplification. Early cannabis research was limited, and many online sources rely on recycled interpretations of studies that don't directly address the question. The oxygen absorption model is an easy analogy to latch onto, but it ignores the distinct properties of cannabinoids. Additionally, the lightheadedness from prolonged breath holding is a real phenomenon, but it's fleeting and unrelated to THC's psychoactive effects. By conflating the two, pop science articles create a misleading narrative that dismisses the role of breath hold duration. Conclusion. The claim that holding your breath when smoking marijuana doesn't get you higher is rooted in a misinterpretation of studies about oxygen absorption, not cannabinoids. THC's heavier molecular weight and slower diffusion rate suggest that longer breath holds, within reason, e.g., 5-10 seconds, can enhance absorption, leading to a more efficient and potent high. My 30 years of daily cannabis use confirm this. Holding hits allows me to use less weed for a stronger, longer-lasting effect. While direct studies on marijuana and breath hold duration are needed to settle the debate, the current evidence and practical experience strongly challenge the oxygen deprivation myth. Next time you light up, try holding your hit a little longer. You might be surprised at the difference. The following is the link all websites send you to when expressing the cited materials. Source: https:/pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov 2554344 by Scott Young, aka Sin Famous Gamer.